welcome to the Hodge Podcast. I am your host, Steve Hodge, and joining me as always is my co-host, cousin, and lover, Kevin Hodge.
Woo Guy returns.
No. I don't like Woo Guy. Did you see my little Easter egg at the end of the last episode?
Oh shit, no I didn't. Damn it.
Well, pretty much right after the outro music, it was just like 10 seconds of you going, woo.
Yes.
I'm angry that you didn't listen through.
I listened until the intro or the outro started, and then I turned it off.
Kevin, have you learned nothing from watching Marvel movies? You gotta stay till post credits.
Yeah, you want to know what I learned about Marvel movies? I can always just text you, because you've already seen them, and just say, hey, is there a post-credits scene? And you will say yes or no. And then I know if I should stay or not.
I don't watch Marvel movies. I'm not a nerd. I like girls.
Nerd.
Nerds!
No, don't lie to the good listening people.
Yeah, yeah.
Nerd. Giant nerd. Yeah, so episode 7.
7. I want a 7. Maybe during that little part, I'll insert Chris D'Elia's 7. Anyway, so this past week, you and I went and saw Eric Church, but separately on different days.
Church? Yes, we did, and it was, I mean, in my opinion, amazing as always. I know we're gonna talk about stadium country shows versus more small time venue bars and the like. But my overall feeling, it was great. He played for almost 3 hours in Moline. I don't know how long he played for you guys.
3.5.
Well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But I thought it was great. In the iWireless Center, there's really not a bad seat, but we were still in the lower bowl, so we were pretty decently close whenever he was out on the front stage. Stage, I know it was the same for you. It was set up as kind of a giant square, and you could walk around to all the different directions, and had a bunch of different mics, so we could sing basically to every area of the venue. So I thought it was great. He played a lot of songs that most people don't know because they don't listen to the deep album cuts, and then also played a lot of the hits. So
that's actually what bothered me, is not the fact that he played the deep cuts. It's the fact that, with me, he opened up with Mistress Named Music, and then he went into another one that people don't really know, which is weird because he had a children's choir come out and sing with him, which was kind of weird. But
yeah, he did that here too.
Yeah, and he was singing all these deep cuts from Mr. Misunderstood and stuff, and I could tell the audience was just bored. They weren't every 50th person probably was singing along. Everyone else was just kind of I don't know this song. And then finally, his 5th song in, he went to Drink in My Hand, and that's when the entire place stood up and was like, "Woo, this is my favorite song." I was like, ugh.
Yeah, that's. I had a similar feeling. I think he had the same opening for us. I mean, grant it was literally the day before, so that would make sense. And yeah, I mean, it was weird because no one knew the words or knew what the song was, and it was kind of annoying to see all these people who were just I love Eric Church, I don't know any of these songs. And I'm just okay, that's kind of dumb. But I still love that he does that. The idea of, instead of coming right out and being I'm going to play Drink in My Hand to start it off because I know all the people just go apeshit. And instead of doing that, I like that he must, I texted you, I'm he must really love the song Knives of New Orleans because he's played it the last couple times we've seen him, and no one I don't know what that song's about. It is extremely confusing to me.
It's about cutlery in New Orleans.
Yeah, how they're just fine knife makers in New Orleans. Yeah, but I don't know anything about that song. I mean, I like it. It's a good song, but he must really like it. And the fact that, like, if he's got songs that he likes and he's gonna play them, like, I think that's awesome. But yeah, no, I feel you. He started off interestingly in terms of a, crowd engagement standpoint. But he's still really good live, so I loved it.
Then again, outside of the very first time we saw him, because we didn't really know all of his music then, every single time we've seen him, he's opened up with, like, not a hit. Because he opened up this past one with Mistress Named Music. He opened up... I don't remember. Actually, I can't remember what he opened up in Texas with.
I cannot remember anything.
He opened Country Thunder with Knives of New Orleans.
Yep. Oh,
and he opened up the More Church concert. He opened up with Country Music Jesus. Remember, he was alone on stage and he played the acoustic part, and then it went into the...
Oh, that was awesome.
Because that was when the keg shot out fire every time he said, "There'll be fire."
That was awesome, yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, it's cool that he doesn't open with, like, a hit every time, because it's, like, all the true fans of his that are, sitting there die hard, know every single song, they're going crazy for every song that he's playing. But then, of course, there are the people who are like, I'm the biggest Eric Church fan, but only have heard the 5 songs that have gone number 1 on the radio.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's why I like that he did it. I mean, so it was kind of weird because the audience was not totally into it, but I was also just like, judging the shit out of everyone. Like, yeah, you don't know this song because you'll suck.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, like the weird, I still think the weirdest one that he played that I never expected was he played 2 Pink Lines.
Yeah, when he played that, I think I just like turned to people and just like, yeah, interesting song choice, just about getting his girl pregnant, maybe.
About maybe knocking someone up.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool. It was funny because he's like, I haven't played this song in a long time, and we've just kind of started working it back into the song set. So if you saw us back at Joe's Bar 10 years ago, you've heard this song. And I guess some of the crowd was like, I saw you at Joe's. And he turns to him and he goes, you look about 19. No, you didn't.
All right, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, it was funny. But yeah, then he played that, and then obviously he didn't. I doubt he did it out in Moline, but he repeats himself multiple times, saying how he started at Joe's Bar when no one was there. He was always there at Joe's Bar playing.
Yeah, no, he did not. He did not do any of that.
Yeah,
but he did. He did talk about how the last time he was in Moline was the More Church concert, and so I was like, I was there, and I just started screaming.
Yeah, and then he heard you and he's like, get out.
No, he's like, that guy is going to be my friend.
Yeah, but the one thing that was cool about him talking, because he brings up Joe's Bar a lot, because obviously it probably does mean a lot to him. I know artists, every time they go to different cities, are like, oh, I love this city, I love it so much, and they do that, just insert city here. But obviously Joe's probably does mean a lot to him, because that is a bar that usually does have smaller artists, like we're seeing Cody Johnson there next week. Woo. I've seen Aaron Watson there. I've seen a bunch of smaller artists there who haven't made it big yet. So obviously that probably is true. But in honor of it, it was cool. He played Sweet Home Chicago.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but it was funny because I was sitting there watching him play it, and I was like, I looked down, and you could see like he was singing, but his head was turned a little bit because he was reading the lyrics on the ground.
He did that. Shit. See, now this is, again, bad podcast form, because I can't remember what the hell the song was, but he did that, too. He did that for us, where he played some song that wasn't his song for whatever reason, and he was reading the words off of the ground so that he could know the words. Like, God damn it, I can't remember what the song is.
I don't know. But
it might come to me randomly, I don't know.
Yeah, but what was funny also is I noticed, or I didn't notice, it was very obvious, he botched one of the verses to kill a word, and he just started laughing into the mic. He just kind of had he just shrugged it off. It's like, because if you really do listen to that song, it's a mouth twister.
There's a lot of words that are trying to be
killed.
But
it was funny. It was just like, if I could get, and you could tell that he just messed up, and he just kind of looks around the crowd, and he's just like, I mean, I remember a few times I've seen Brad Paisley. He's forgotten the words to "The World," which is kind of funny.
Interesting.
Yeah, but
apparently she's not the world.
Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, the concert was sweet, and then I'm sure he might have done it for you guys, but when he played Jack Daniels, he went below stage and took a bunch of shots of Jack Daniels.
Yep, he did that with us, and gave out shots to all the stage hands and stuff, and then they all took shots. It was pretty great.
Freaking single barrel too.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
Man, they can afford a bottle of single barrel every night.
Yeah, because they basically killed the entire bottle between the amount of shots that they poured.
Yeah. But yeah, I saw that. I don't really have anything else about it. It was obviously a good concert, but obviously I'm old and I work super early, so I was just getting exhausted by even the first intermission. So, So if anyone's a first time listener, I know we've talked about the concert before, but this concert is the Hold My Own tour, and he didn't have an opener, so at 8:40 or so, he went on stage and just started the concert himself, no opener, and then after about an hour and a half, took a 20-minute intermission, then came back on, played for another hour and a half or so, and then he had an encore after it, which went on forever also.
Yeah, and no, I was going to say. I lost it. Oh, no, stadiums. Yeah, shit. I am spacey today. Yeah, no, what I was going to say is, so it was, he just was by himself, which was awesome, and he just had the intermission and just played a bunch of music. But speaking of being an old person, which you are,
yes,
it's definitely, every time I go to any show now that is, a venue like that, and the iWireless is smaller than the Allstate by a pretty decent bit. So it is a little less so than, some, being there or being at, Country Thunder or, any sort, or Tinley. But I just really do like the smaller venues so much more. We've talked about it before, how, being able to see the person and actually distinguish who they are and, be close to them and have them play, and it's a smaller venue, smaller setting, is just so much cooler. It's such a much better experience for the music as well as just your experience, viewing it. So, even though I love Eric Church and I love the concert, loved every time I've seen him, it's still just it doesn't stack up as highly with all these other shows that we keep going to.
Yeah, I on my personal Facebook page, so anyone who's following any of our pages didn't see it, I posted a picture of me standing literally 10 feet or less away from Sturgill Simpson when I saw him, what was it, 3 years ago? And it's that was so sweet, because standing that close to someone that amazing. And then on our Instagram showed the picture of Whiskey Myers that I took, how close we get to stand all these bands, how close we were to Cody Jinks and Whitey Morgan, and
how close we were to Luke Combs, which was literally we were the front row right next to him.
Yeah, how close we've been to Aaron Watson, Randy Rogers, Josh Abbott. Well, those last two were me, but no, you were at Randy Rogers.
I was at Randy Rogers.
Yeah, I saw the Josh Abbott with Lauren, but
boo.
Yeah, just seeing how close we could be there, and then at those ones, those are where the genuine fans come in and watch the bands because they care, or even Cody Johnson, who we're going to talk about today. Those are the genuine fans because they're not 18,000 people venues; they're 300-person venues. So the people who are going are diehard fans who love their music and love that. Whereas when you go to I don't want to point out just Eric Church fans, but just a lot. I'm sorry, I love country music. Obviously, we're very passionate. We have this podcast, but country music fans, the bro country music fans, are some of the worst fans in the fucking world.
Oh yeah.
Just fighting the crowd at Eric Church and just seeing these people who are just it wasn't even that warm out, and they're tearing the sleeves off their flannels and stuff. I'm just oh god, I hate you people so much.
The thing that I thought was funny that I had totally forgotten about lines. I just totally forgot that lines exist. What the fuck? And so then we went to the show, and we had to stand in a long-ass line just to get into the iWireless, which, if you, as you know, getting into the iWireless usually on any given day is super easy. You just walk right in, and they check your ticket, check to make sure you don't have a fucking bomb strapped to your body, and then you're good.
Miss Mallard's games.
Oh, they're so great. But then so that, and then also going to get a beer, trying to get a beer, you had to stand in such a long line. I was man, am I back in Chicago right now, at a Blackhawks game?
That's why I loved that I didn't drink at the concert, because I didn't have to leave my seat.
Oh, I still got my beers, but I had to I had to I just picked a song. Like he'd start playing a song, I'm like, all right, I'm cool missing this one and just going up and grabbing a beer. Because the iWireless is small, so like we just ran up the stairs and you're right there next to a beer vendor. But it was like I totally forgot about the fact that lines exist. Like, because even in like the smaller shows that we go to when they're like packed, like Whiskey Myers was packed.
We could stand pretty much right next to a bar.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, so like at Joe's when we saw Whiskey Myers, like it was sold out. They announced to us that it had sold out, and it was just absolutely like people crammed in there. But you could just fish, you weed your way through the crowd, get to the bar, get a drink, and you're still like right there, and then back.
You'd wait like less than 5 minutes to have a bartender asking you for a drink, whereas you're standing in line for 20 minutes at a huge-ass concert.
And while getting your beer, you just turn your head slightly, and bam, you're still watching the show because it's just right there.
Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to leave and barely hear just a muffled like. Yeah. This is more of just an old person, like, damn kids kind of complaint of, I just love... I discovered that I'm claustrophobic at Whiskey Myers because I was legitimately uncomfortable while we were waiting for them to come on stage with all the people crowding around me. I was just like, please get away from me. And then, I prefer smaller concerts. Obviously, I don't want to rip into every fan because obviously there's a lot of good country fans out there. But with some of these venues, you're going to have to deal with the people I don't want to deal with. And, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's just a thing. Like, I feel like it's a combination of, obviously, we're getting older, so our tastes and our feelings are changing. When we're younger, we might... And we haven't been to as many shows. Like, we have absolutely no problem fighting the crowd because, like, we haven't been to a show. But now we've been to, God, I don't even know how many concerts that we've been to. And now
at least 50.
Oh God, it's probably even more than that. I don't even know.
I know.
But so like now that we've seen so many shows and like
3 this month.
Yeah, shit. Yeah. And so like seeing Eric Church as many times as we have, and then just seeing as many shows as we have, like. I definitely know now that, like, I would much rather see someone in a smaller venue. And I also like seeing so many people in, like, people that I don't even really know that well in these small venues. There's a couple of venues around the Quad Cities that I go to, and I'll just go if I hear of someone that is moderately famous or I may have heard, like, one song and they're playing. I'm like, well, I'll go because it's going to be, like, $10, $15 to have a couple of beers and see someone really up close. Like, I love that versus fighting any sort of crowd at an actual show. So yeah, I think it's our tastes are changing, but I also feel like it's so much more of a special, experience when you see someone up like as close as we have seen so many of the artists, so that it just kind of feels shitty when you go to a big venue and you're just kind of like, it's all the way over there and there's all these people and it's like, eh.
Yeah, and And obviously, I also love supporting the smaller ones because obviously, if we were to miss an Eric Church concert, he's still going to make his millions and millions of dollars. Us not being there, but every ticket counts for a smaller venue where they're trying to sell out a 200-person bar. And I love supporting that, and they actually genuinely care. It's a lot more personal because they can actually talk to the crowd. Like Eric Church, he'll interact with like the people in the front row, and they're just the wasted people who decided to drop $200 on a front row seat. But like he can talk to them, but everyone else in the crowd, he could be like, "Oh, how are you all up in the upper deck?" And we're like, but
yep,
I will always prefer. I want to see Paisley one more time. But then again, he plays amphitheaters, so sitting on the lawn is a little better than crowding into a giant or a big old stadium. But, I am 100% fine with retiring from stadium country.
Yeah, I don't want to say retire because I know that, especially living in Iowa, there's not always a huge flux of artists coming through. But, yeah, I definitely don't feel the need to see like every artist that comes through town. So like a perfect example is like, so me and Jay briefly thought about going to the Brantley Gilbert show because Luke Combs is opening and just leaving after Luke Combs goes on. But we're just like, you know what? No, fuck that. Like, it won't even be that good because we'll have a short set, obviously, but then, like, we're going to be far away because we'd buy cheap tickets, and then, like, that's not the kind of venue I'd want to see him in anyway, especially because of how great the first time was that we saw him. So I was like, yeah, no, I'll see certain artists if they come through. You know, there's certain ones that I definitely like. So, like, the last concert I saw at the I Wireless before this one was when Alan Jackson came through. So, like, that one was great to go to. And like
Alan
person
Jackson
that I
also
want
has
to
genuine.
see.
Alan Jackson also has genuine fans of
and
country music.
99% of that show is just sitting down and watching him play because there's a bunch of old people who don't stand up. So you're just like, all right, we're sitting this one out.
Yeah, exactly. Because his fans are all from the '70s, so they're all in their 70s.
Yeah, so like that's a perfectly fine venue to go to because then also like the old people get like their 2 beers of the evening, and I'm like, all right. There ain't nobody up here now.
Yeah, and plus we get to go see Luke Combs at Windy City this summer, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the example that I wanted to use. Is just, you know, it depends on who the artist is that comes through, but I definitely don't feel the burning urge to keep going to stadium shows unless the artists are going to be just absolutely like unmissable.
Oh my god! I'm looking at the Windy City Smokeout lineup. I forgot how amazing it is already that we're going to see. It's gonna be John Langston first, even though I'm losing respect for him very quickly.
I already am out of respect for him. I don't care if you have one good song. I don't care.
It's making me not want to like that song. But then Muscadine Bloodline or Muscadine, I don't know how to pronounce it. Then Mike Ryan, William Clark Green, Sonny Sweeney. I'm gonna skip him. Stoney LaRue, Randy Clark, Luke Combs, and then finally Lee Bryce, which maybe not even stay for.
I probably don't want to see him, but 90% of that day, absolutely.
Yeah, the one that I don't care for, we can go get beer and eat food during his set, but
yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, because it's the one it's Ryan Hurd, and he had this one song on Spotify that was legitimately an amazing song, but for some reason he took it down and now he just has his bro music on there. I'm like, what happened to the one like amazing song? He doesn't have it on YouTube, doesn't have it on anywhere. I had to find it on like some like international site where the text wasn't even in English. Like that's how that's legitimately how I had to find the song to listen to it again, because it's such a good song, but I don't know, he just like hid it from the world for some unknown reason.
Probably because they're just like, wait, don't make good music, you can sell out hard. And you're just like, oh, cover my tracks.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was at Windy City Smokeout last year, too, because I think he's from Chicago. I think that's what he said. He's like, I live in Nashville now, but Chicago's my home or something. So I was like, oh, cool. And then he played just a bunch of bro songs. So I was like, all right, I don't really like you.
And peace.
And then he didn't play the one song that I wanted to hear. So I was like, well, that was a waste of time. But
yeah, definitely we'll be skipping that then.
Yeah, so long story short, yeah, I'm fine with festivals if it's a good festival that's worth going to. But obviously,
Willie's Picnic.
Yeah,
amazing.
like I would love to go to that again. I'm retired from Country Thunder for sure. I might go for like a little bit just to see our friends who are there, but as for staying there, I'm done because their lineups are getting worse and worse, and the children being drunk are getting drunker and drunker, so I'm just tired of it.
Yep, agreed.
But, yeah, so honky tonk country is where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything else about... Oh, actually, the one last thing about Eric Church, though, was his encore, where he played Those I've Loved, which made me lose my shit, even though I was tired and I wanted to go home. I freaked out and was like, yes, I love this song so much, because that's my favorite song by him. But I wrote down the encore. He played Hold My Own first, then he did an acoustic Sinners Like Me, Those I've Loved, and Like Jesus Does. And then he was done.
Interesting. Yeah, he only played 2 songs for the encore here, which I also thought was interesting because one of them was Chevy Van, and I was just like, who was actually asking for that song to be played? But apparently, someone had like a sign up because like what he did for his encore is like he walked out there and like saw people in the crowd. He's just like, all right, I'll do that one, and then I'll do that one. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And so it was Chevy Van, and then it was Those I've Loved. Because apparently someone had a tattoo of Those I Loved on their arm, and he's just like, shit, if it's tattooed on you, I gotta play it.
It was me. No, I like Chevy Van. I think it's a good one. That's the one I forgot to mention from when we were talking about his discography was Chevy Van and His Kind of Love, or His Kind of Money, My Kind of Love, or whatever. Those are 2 really good songs. But, yeah, so that's cool. He likes You Almost Naked.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, Those I've Loved. Because I remember when he played it acoustically at the More and More Church concert as well. And for those listeners who I don't realize why I'm saying More and More Church, it was Kit Moore, Justin Moore, and Eric Church. So we call it the More and More Church concert. But
yeah, I didn't even realize that was confusing until now, and now I regret it.
Because I think I said it in another podcast, and I was like, I don't think anyone realizes what I mean when I say that.
The ginger one is stupid. He doesn't know how to speak English.
Sounds like I'm having a stroke. Mama church. Yeah. So anyway, moving on. Good concert, but I'm done.
Transition music.
The lineup for Willie's 4th of July picnic for this year has been announced. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it includes Casey Musgraves, Jamie Johnson, Steve Earle, Margot Price, Asleep at the Wheel, Turnpike Troubadours, Hayes Carl, Ray Wiley Hubbard, Billy Joe Schaefer, if he's still alive, David Allen Coe, and more.
Also, if he's still alive.
Yeah, well, Billy Joe Schaefer, I guess, had to cancel some shows just due to health problems, so...
Dude is old.
Yeah, he's old as hell, so who knows if he's around for that picnic, but...
Shit, that's a good lineup.
Yeah, it's a lot better than last year when he had freaking Brantley Gilbert as his opener.
Ooh.
Yeah, lame. I remember looking at it, and I was like, that's a really bad one. Honestly, it's still not as good as 2 years ago when we went, because that was legitimately the greatest lineup I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was absolutely amazing.
But yeah, Hayes Carl's really good. I would love to see Turnpike Troubadours. I still want to see them.
Come out to Peoria when we go.
Maybe. We'll see. Because it's far away.
Yeah, that requires too much thinking.
Yeah. But yeah, like I would love to see a lot of those, but obviously I don't think we're going to be making it down to Austin this year, much as I want to.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, so, Kevin, it's a sad day. Our favorite musician of all time has been abandoning country for pop music. And no, it's not Taylor Swift. It's our very favorite of all time, Sam Hunt. Body Like a Back Road is charting on pop charts. He's abandoning country music. His home.
Yeah, so basically what happened was today, Saving Country Music, our always go-to for reliable news and information related to country music, posted an article that basically the record label that Sam Hunt is on was talking about how like they had always they planned to transition from country, in air quotes, to pop music. But due to the success of Body Like a Back Road, that this transition is coming earlier than they originally planned. So basically what's going to happen is Sam Hunt is going to pull the Taylor Swift. He's going to finally admit that he's full of shit and has not been making country music. He's just been making pop music and been trying to just pass it off as country in order to get a following. And he's going to just declare himself a pop artist and release straight up pop music. But here's the catch. It's basically going to be the same shit, terrible music that he's been making this entire time. And then all the people in the pop world are going to be like, this dude actually sucks just in general, not just sucks as a country artist. This dude's, like, the words that he puts together with a beat is garbage.
Yeah, despite all of Taylor Swift's songs being about ex-boyfriends, they're actually good. They're well written.
She had talent.
Sam Hunt is just bad.
Yeah, it's. I think everyone's gonna have a. I mean, everyone in the frame of people who thought or think that he's actually good gonna have a wake up call when they listen to whatever his first pop album is that's released, and they're gonna be like, wait a second, these are stupid songs. Now that he's not calling them country and can't just throw the word truck and girl with painted on blue jeans as every other word, he's got nothing valuable to say.
You mean he can't continue describing women as roads?
Yeah, women equals inanimate object is kind of a problem now.
What? No, women are objects for our pleasure. Duh.
Yeah, so basically it was, I mean, I guess it's not even like an official announcement. It was just Saving Country Music's article came out. But basically, we have won the good fight. Our podcast has been fighting from the start to get this fucker thrown out of country music, and he's finally leaving. So, well done, troops.
Yeah. God. Which sucks, though, because then we can't do our episode about him next week.
I know, right? We were gonna finally get to him.
I know. Well, if he's still a country artist, we'll do it next week.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, but the last thing we wanted to say before getting to our topic was we wanted to kind of backtrack what we were saying last week about Whiskey Riff. And
not an apology, because no.
Yeah, well, I will apologize to the author, because I did listen to their podcast, and he does seem like a genuine dude. And obviously, in the heat of the moment last week, we were very angry.
We were fired up.
I made a lot of just quick remarks about him that obviously I don't mean, and I can't make a judgment for a man for one article, or the other two that were also bad. But we will not backtrack on the article, because the article was terrible. But the author himself, Wes, I do apologize. That was a douche move by us that we jumped snap conclusion of who we think he is because of that.
They are who we thought they were.
Yeah. He seemed like a genuine guy on the podcast, so I do apologize about that.
I don't apologize. However, I do acknowledge that it is not good to just immediately assume someone's personality and or character is a way purely because of an article when I don't actually know the person. Yeah. Having said that, that article was absolute garbage. And if you are going to be a person who writes that, there's got to be something in there that is fucked up in order for you to think those things. But to just straight up infer that he is an absolute douchebag, I don't know. He might not be. He might be.
Yeah, but apparently he listened because
he tweeted at us. And the fact that he tweeted at us just like saying thanks for the kind words, with the sarcasm, like dude must be able to at least, can take a joke and realizes it's all in good fun. So
well, it's also the internet, so you're gonna have a lot of hate on the internet. We probably have a lot of hate. I'm sure if there's plenty of people who've listened to our podcast, like, all right, fuck these guys and stop listening. But yeah, so I took the time to listen to the podcast. I think it was like episode 3, and they called it Twitter Police or something, because they talked about how Twitter pretty much attacked them for the article. And it's just, I just didn't like it because, like, the two guys, they're genuine guys, but they didn't get the point. Like, they said that what everyone was saying was confirming their point. I'm like, no, it wasn't, because the analogy was bad. If you want to stick to that high school analogy,
so he was basically just calling everyone who was attacking them nerds, because that's the fact.
Well, because pretty much, the one thing that they didn't realize that they poked a hole in their own analogy was they said that pretty much the Sam Hunt, the Luke Bryan, and the Gooches are like the quarterbacks of the high school or the football team, whatever, and that we're jealous because that they're the quarterbacks. And then they go, yeah, but isn't your high school quarterback just working at a gas station in your hometown? I'm like, so what you're saying is that they're peaking right now and they're going to be legitimately nothing later, whereas the quote-unquote nerdy artsy people who don't peak in high school are going to move on to actually be legends. So what you're saying is that Cody Jinks and Whitey Morgan and Jason Isbell and Sergio Simpson, they're all going to move on to be legends, but Luke Bryan's just going to be forgotten about because he's having his moment and he's going to be done.
Yeah.
So they poked their hole in their own analogy, but then they talk about how the girls are after the handsome guys and we're jealous because of that. I go, no, well, all right, fine. Yes, the girls are after. Well, because the girls are. I'm not jealous of it, but the girls are after them. But the girls in this analogy are the Nashville business. It's not the fans because the fans are crying out to hear. It's not that they don't want to hear Luke Bryan and all this on the radio. It's that they want to hear the good people on the radio too. And all the girls, i.e. the radio stations, are just like, yeah, let's clamor after these handsome people because that's what people want to hear. When it's not, because as we saw from Sam Hunt's most recent song, it's going over in a pop. So if you're playing it on a pop station, fine, let them listen to it there. But I want to be able to turn on the radio and actually listen to music. Not have it be taken over by this crap. But, I'm sorry, I'm reading my notes. Yeah, but I wrote down a more accurate high school analogy, if you want to stick in the realm of high school, is that as to why we hate mainstream country music, is that country radio is like the school talent show, where Luke Bryan and Sam Hunt are the popular kids in that talent show, but all they do is they go up on stage and they don't really do anything but kind of take off their shirts, and all the girls are going crazy because they're sitting there watching and like, woo, these handsome guys are taking off their shirts for us, woo, they're handsome. But then when Cody Jinks and Whitey Morgan take the stage to play music, everyone's like, yeah, this is good, but it's not Luke Bryan or Sam Hunt, so instead of actually winning a talent show based off talent, it's just a popularity contest of these people on it. And that's what's annoying, is that the radio should be about the most talented artists, not the ones who are selling the most records, because that's what it used to be. It used to be the most talented artists were on the radio, and now it's just whose pretty face they can stick on a poster and get all the girls to buy. Because what they fail to mention is that which we've said multiple times, is that the prime audience that they reach for is college-age women, because that's, for some reason, who's buying the most shit.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too much into this because this is what we had said last week. But yeah, just to take the analogy further, it's what they said exactly, where they will peak in high school and then no one cares about them because the people who would see this talent show and give a shit about the popular kid would then eventually graduate, realize that popularity in high school is a pointless thing that doesn't actually mean anything, and move on with their lives. And so it's one of those, it's like a flash in the pan, and that's why they have to keep marketing it to college-age girls, because or college-age just people in general, because douchebags like it too. But it's like, so you're marketing towards that because, like the creepy saying always goes, they keep getting older, but these people in college always stay the same age. There's always going to be college kids that you can pander to, because they're always going to be people that are becoming that age.
Yeah. It's just that, it's like the freaking Bo Burnham song. Country music isn't about talent anymore. It's about pandering.
Yeah, it is. It's just 100% pandering, yeah.
And just, again, with the article, we say it again, is they're not experiences that we never had. I'm not jealous of any of these people. I don't care. I've said this a million times. I'll say it a million more times. I don't care if you're a fan of Sam Hunt, Luke Bryan, Gooch, or any of the other bro country artists. It's just that they're just destroying the radio with this pop music when we want to hear traditional music. I mean, who knows? This might not be as big of a problem down south, but us being in the Chicagoland area, we don't get to hear this on the radio. I want to turn on the radio and hear Cody Jinks or Whitey Morgan or any Texas artist. I wish that we could start a Texas radio show up here. That'd be amazing. But It's just I don't want to turn on the radio and hear Thomas Rhett's Vacation, which is the least country song to win awards for being a country song. It's I don't want to hear Luke Bryan. I don't want to hear Sam Hunt. I don't want to hear Gooch, Chase Rice, Cole Swindle, whatever. I don't want to hear those people because they're not country artists. Or another solution would be to, not
kill them all. What?
Not that segregation is good, but you need to have different awards because you can't say that this pop country song, unless you have overall country, but you need to have like a pop country segment, an Americana segment, a traditional, a bluegrass, because you can't say that Luke Bryan's music is better than Cody Jinks because it's not. It's just not. I'm sorry. It's not.
Yeah, and the foundation of our whole argument against this and the reason we feel so strongly is because fundamentally their music is not country music. And that's basically what our podcast is about. That's what our whole rant and argument is that it's just lying about being country because they're taking certain country words and they're inserting them into these songs, which is pandering, which we've been saying a bunch. And that's why we have a problem with it. I don't give a shit if you want to make terrible music that I don't like because someone might like it, like people do apparently, like these other, types of music that I don't care about. But saying that it's country is just lying. The analogy that Saving Country Music had for Sam Hunt was like, they say, if you had a person... If you
ordered a California roll.
Yeah, if you ordered a California roll and got pasta Alfredo, you would be like, what the fuck? Only Sam Hunt is more like ordering a California roll and just getting a, dog shit bag lit on fire. But the point remains that even if it is, quote unquote good at this other genre, say pasta Alfredo, which is delicious, but you wanted to get sushi, and then you're just like, I'll have some sushi, and they give you a fucking bowl of pasta, you're like, what the hell? This is not what I wanted. This is just lying. That's the point of our argument. It's lying. Yeah. It's not country.
And then, of course, people say things like, well, they say it's country, so it's country. I go, all right, so you're saying that if Metallica came out with a new song that was like, I drive my truck, everyone would be like, is that a country song? No, it's a metal song where they're saying I drive my truck. It's just like Sam Hunt is a pop song where he says, I date raped that girl in the back of my truck the other week. Like, that's what the songs are. And just because obviously, yes, you have to say the lyrics matter and then the music matters, but it's hand in hand because you can't have one without the other. You can't, like, if Drake all of a sudden came out and was singing about driving down a back road, you can't all of a sudden be like, oh, Drake's a country artist. It's same as if
or in real life, when Beyonce releases a song that has some sort of kind of country feel, and everyone's like, hey, it's a country song. It's like, it's not a fucking country song.
Yeah, she still has it on a hip-hop album. It's a hip-hop song. And, so obviously there's genre-bending music, but it doesn't mean that they're switching music. It would also be the same thing, and then, of course, people say country music's evolving. I go, yeah, that'd be like if... if Linkin Park all of a sudden came back and they started playing polka music, they can't be like, this is still our alternative rock music. It's like, no, you're playing polka now. It's not the same. Just because you say it's the same, you can't say that this genre evolved into polka because country music is evolving into pop, so it's not country anymore. And that's what we say about it. We're not trying to say like, this music's bad, we're saying it's not country, even though a lot of it is bad, but that's our opinion. That's not fact. But the fact is it's not country music.
Yes. All right.
But
I feel like we have beaten this up beyond dead horse status.
I had one other thing to say, but I forgot.
All right. I'll say it if you want. But I feel like we have taken this Whiskey Riff article and given it too much of our thought and effort.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, topic of the week, Kevin.
Yeah, speaking of actual good country music.
Man named Cody Johnson. He went to Augustana. I know him personally. Oh, wait. No, the other Cody Johnson. The one from Texas. Yes.
I get those mixed up all the time.
Yes. Sorry, if you're listening, Cody Johnson, this one's not about you. It's about Cody Johnson.
That was a confusing sentence.
Anyway, he's a Texas artist. If you haven't heard him on the radio, that's why, because Nashville doesn't like him.
He was also independent, so Nashville really doesn't like him.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't matter like Aaron Watson, who had the #1 CD. Actually, I remember Cody Johnson's last CD would have gone #1 if not for Blake Shelton's CD going on sale and selling more copies that week.
Oh, I remember when that happened.
Yeah, but
I wonder if that was a just like a conscious decision by the label to be like, fuck this guy, let's make it sell more. I mean, this is a big old allegedly, because I don't actually know.
I don't think it was to screw over Cody Johnson. I think in their minds it was there's no major Nashville release, so let's do it this week. But it wasn't like intentionally screw Cody Johnson. It was more of a there's no Randy Houser or Jared Neiman CD coming out or whatever, so let's release it or let's do the sale this week. But anyway, Cody Johnson, he started playing drums when he was young, then he picked up the guitar a little later. Started a band with some kids, some fellow kids in the FFA, and a year later they finished runner-up in an FFA contest, or talent contest. He briefly went to college, but dropped out to be a rodeo pro, and the giant belt buckle he wears is one that he actually won in a rodeo.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, so he's a legitimate cowboy because he did freaking rodeo.
And if you listen to his music, you notice that he talks about cowboy things and being a cowboy a whole hell of a lot, and so it's not pandering because he actually did this shit.
Yeah, it's actually his life that he's talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, so you want to take it from here, because really all I have written down now is the songs I like.
Yeah, so with Cody Johnson, I had to kind of think about it the way that we had thought about the Eric Church episode, where we basically just went album by album. I'm not going to go album by album because that would take a lot of time, and if people don't know any of his songs, they're going to be like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? But the thing that I noticed first, and we talked about briefly before we started recording, he's only 29. Like I thought he was in his 30s. Like he's clearly a young guy, but
that
like
blew my mind.
I had no idea he was that young. And his first album came out in 2006. So do the math. Dude was like 18 years old. That's insane.
Yeah.
And so speaking of that album, it's called The Black and White Label. It looks like a Jack Daniels bottle. It sounds kind of cheaply made. I'm guessing because he was a young kid who didn't have any money to pay for a real recording gig.
Yeah, his dad played the drums on it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so like that album, I'm just basically going to skip over because I don't actually really know that many songs from it. Because really where he gets going is in 2009, he released 6 Strings, One Dream. And that song had several songs that I really love. The song
That
Pretend.
album had several songs.
What did I say? Song?
You said that song had several
Damn
songs.
it! See, this is why we can never be professionals.
Yeah.
More church and song of songs.
We are quite amateurish. Oh, disclaimer that I forgot to say before we started doing this.
Yeah, you already stated facts.
We're not biographers, so if you are a giant Cody Johnson fan, please don't send us hate mail because we don't spend too much time researching artists. We just like telling people, general listeners, what songs we think they should listen to. We're not here to tell you things you already know about an artist you're obsessed with.
Disclaimer on the disclaimer. Still, please do send me hate mail because it makes me laugh, but don't attack the fact that we didn't do legitimate research. Attack other things, like my inability to speak words.
We are adults who work full time. We are not journalists. So
yes. Okay, but back to the music. 6 Strings, One Dream. My favorite song from the album has got to be Pretend, but I also really do love the song Texas Kind of Way. I'm Not Responsible, and the song Another Try. All of them are very good songs. It's a very good album. You should just listen to it. And
I think my favorite from that. I think my favorite song from that CD was No Tears in My Eyes.
That is a very good song. It's slow. but very, very good song. After Six Strings, he releases another album in 2011, which is called A Different Day. After that album, he released Cowboy Like Me in 2014, and his most recent one was in 2016, where he released Gotta Be Me. I feel in my heart that Cowboy Like Me is my favorite album by him, which is kind of hard because between A Different Day, Cowboy Like Me, and Gotta Be Me, he says me a lot. He's such a misogynist. There's so many good songs. Like I tried to just write down, a couple songs from each album to point out, but once I hit Cowboy Like Me and Gotta Be Me, I ended up writing down way too many songs. But just some songs to highlight that I liked a lot. Off of A Different Day, I really liked the song. Where the hell did I write these down? I'm an idiot.
On your
Yeah, A Different Day. So my favorite song from that album is called Ocean of Whiskey. I really like sad songs, like I've said a million times. So Ocean of Whiskey and I Don't Care About You. I Don't Care About You is literally one of my favorite songs because it's like
it's top 5.
It's like it's not technically a breakup song, but it's kind of like hinting at that, like, tonight I don't care about you, I'm going to do my own thing. It's amazing.
It's like if you're going to be a clingy bitch, I don't care about you.
Exactly.
Tonight. I'm going to go do my thing.
Yeah, like, so if this is, because one of the lines from it is like, if this is some kind of premonition of how it's going to be with you, it's so, I'm done, I'm out, we're through. And I'm like, that is awesome, because he's just like, all right, I'm cutting this thing off right now. And like, I just think it's amazing. The album Cowboy Like Me has some really great songs. My favorite song from that album is Holes, which is, again, one of the top songs that I think by him in general. But he also has a song Proud, which is really good. Cowboy Like Me is a very good song. But the thing I have to say about that song is that it's got one of those really long, extended intros where it's like the sound of a guy.
He turns on the TV and opens a beer.
Yeah, he like turns the TV on and like you hear him like walking and then he like flips a couple channels. It's like, I don't know. He plays that song sometimes live as like the open, so like you can hear that in the background before he comes on stage, which is a fair thing to do in a live show, but on an album, I'm like,
a 1-ton Ford pickup that starts.
Yeah,
everything else is window dressing.
Yeah, it's also like a super stereotypically Texan thing that is said before the song starts. But that is a really good song once the song starts. And then for Gotta Be Me.
Wait, hold on.
Sorry.
Really quickly before we go to Gotta Be Me, I want to say the ones that I think people should listen to from those last two.
Okay.
From A Different Day, I think my favorites are Guilty as Can Be, because it's just about murdering a lady's mistress, because it's like, I ain't one to hurt a woman, so it's gotta be you, kind of thing. And then Diamond in My Pocket, where he's going to propose.
Disclaimer slightly on Guilty as I Can Be. I don't know if you were meaning to say mistress. It's the dude who is sleeping with his wife that he murders, not like he's got an extra mistress and he's gotta kill my side chick.
I don't know what a male mistress is called.
I think it's just definitely the dude that's fucking your wife.
Oh. And then those were really the ones that and A Different Day, the title song. That was really good. Just pretty much saying like, he was born in the wrong era. He should have been born earlier so he could actually fit in, type thing.
Yep.
And then from Cowboy Like Me, Proud is one that I really love.
Yep.
It's just pretty much saying he's proud to be married to his lady.
Mm-hmm.
And then Give a Cowboy a Kiss. I don't think you mentioned that one.
No, it's a good song. There's so many songs that are good. I'd picked others before it.
Yeah, so Give a Cowboy a Kiss is the other one from that CD. I would definitely say that in Proud. But yeah, on to Gotta Be Me.
Gotta Be Me came out last year. And it really is amazing because as the title of the album says, he's just like, I'm not going to... Because he got some success with Cowboy Like Me. Not tremendous success, but like some pretty decent success, but so Gotta Be Me comes out and basically cements that he's like, I'm not going to
A
sell
Different
out.
Day's the one that got him on the like a radio.
Yes, but he kind of like took a step up, I feel like, with or Cowboy Like Me, just as far as like charting and you know what he, you know, the reach.
He charted himself.
Chirp himself. But Gotta Be Me is another just great album in general. You should just listen to it all the way through. But the songs that I picked out, Wild As You is my absolute favorite song from the album. I know yours is With You I Am. I'm not even going to let you say it because I know you're going to say it. But Wild As You is my favorite. And I would also probably say that Wild As You is my favorite song overall right now. He's an artist that is honestly so good and has so many good songs that my favorite might change often because there's really like I've already said, I don't know how many songs, and I still have more written down that I didn't even say. But he's just so good, and you can just shuffle his entire discography, and it's just great. But so like right now, I would say Wild As You is my favorite. With You I Am, which you love, I know, is definitely up there as well as one of my favorites. As well as just the title track, Gotta Be Me, is a really country-y song. It's tremendous. And then The Only Way I Know, or The Only One I Know, is also just an amazing song. Just another cowboy song about how the cowboy life is the only one he knows, which is awesome because he actually did it. He's not just pandering to a bunch of people who live in the country.
Yeah, listening through his discography again, obviously getting ready for this and getting ready for the concert this weekend, because that's who we're seeing if we haven't said. But
yep, seeing him on Saturday.
The one I'll give it a little more credit than I did last time we argued about it was Kiss Goodbye. I still hate the opening 30 seconds where he talks. I can't stand it, but I never disagreed with this, but yes, the song itself is so good.
Yes, and I did.
I just hate the opening.
I was going to make sure to bring that back up because we did have a bit of a rant about it. And again, I will also admit I don't like intros of talking because it's just like that's not.
He's just like, I stare at the keychain and read forever over and over.
He's setting the scene, man. He's setting the scene. So like I don't like the intro bit either. It's one of those where like if I could just like chop the song to where the music starts, it'd be perfect. But that song's amazing. It's about going off to fight and knowing that he's got to leave and how hard a decision that is. And so his last kiss is the kiss goodbye, but not leaving her as far as dumping her, but instead to just go fight overseas, which I think is an awesome song.
Yeah, the other one I was looking at his thing again. The one I forgot that it's not in my top, but it is worth listening to. Is Every Scar Has a Story.
Yep, absolutely. I feel like we should mention the song "Diamond in My Pocket" is a great song. It's about.
I did say
you
that.
did? Oh,
yeah.
I tune you out during the course of the podcast. I just like to hear my own voice. No.
Diamond in My Pocket. I love that one.
Yeah, he's also got a song called "Hurtin'," which I like a lot because whenever he plays it live, I feel like it's. God damn it! Now we have "Hurtin' for a Squirtin'" recorded on this podcast twice because I said it. But so that song's about being super hungover, and so the line is "Even my pain is hurtin'," and I think it's just hilarious. It's one of those where when he plays it live, I think it's a really good live song because he just like he gets really into it. It's kind of fast paced and rocking.
Yeah. Yes. So, pretty much to sum up Cody Johnson is that if you are listening and you're from Texas, all of this is probably just a duh to you because he's a superstar in Texas.
Yep.
It's just, and any casual country listener who is listening into us, they'll realize that Texas country is a completely different world. They don't care what's going on in Nashville unless you cross over like Granger Smith.
What a douchebag.
Yeah, but they just don't care about, like, they look at, I follow all of them on, like, social media, and they'll post, like, oh my gosh, I'm number one on the Texas music charts, because that's what they care about. They don't care about Nashville, and so, like, Cody Johnson is a freaking superstar down in Texas, so anyone listening is, I mean, obviously, who knows, I might be wrong, but...
Yeah, I was just saying, make sure you put the disclaimer out there. Someone's going to come out and be like, you're totally wrong.
But yeah, like he's huge down there. He's always been successful. It's just he's kind of breaking in the mainstream because yeah, like I said, Gotta Be Me went number 2 on the U.S. country playlist. So obviously he's getting bigger. Every time we've seen him at Joe's or well, we've only seen him once. We're seeing him twice.
You've only seen him once. I've seen him 3 times.
But he's been sold out every time we've seen him up here. Granted, they're smaller venues, the ones that we like.
So speaking of that, which is what I wanted to say with the whole Texas thing, which the fact that he is as big as he is in Texas, and some artists do this where they literally don't leave Texas because they don't have to, because they can sell out shows like crazy and get paid and have a great life and not have to worry about fake fans. But so Cody Johnson
traveled the 3 hours across, the 5 hours across Texas rather than across country.
Yeah, and so I've seen Cody Johnson now once at Joe's with you, which was amazing. I saw him once at a bar in Rock Island, which I'm amazed that he went there because that was not packed.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That was the third one.
Yeah, and so that place was not packed at all. I was amazed that he went there. And then I saw him this last time with Choate and Alyssa out in Iowa City, and that place was sold out, but again, it was like a small venue, so it was one of those things where, like, I feel like as he sets these tour schedules up, like, he's going to all these places. He doesn't really know if it's going to get sold out or not. Like, I think he just legitimately enjoys playing the music for his fans and gaining new fans through the active touring. And I think it's just awesome that he goes to these places, like Cody Jinks coming to Ribco. Like, that's one of those things where it's like, I can't believe you came to my town because that's amazing. I never thought that would actually happen. And just given the size of the venues that you're playing in, I can't believe that you're doing this when you know that you can sell out other places. Like, Cody Johnson could just stay in Texas, sell out every venue down there, sell out bigger venue. Well, you've seen the pictures that he's gotten on social media of some of the venues that he plays down in Texas. They're huge. And
huge rodeos and stuff.
Absolutely sold out. He played the Houston rodeo this year, and I don't even know how many people go to that, but probably a shit ton. And so he's used to playing in front of a lot of people, but still will do tours where he goes all over the place and plays his music for his fans, and he is absolutely amazing live, and I really appreciate that he keeps touring.
Yeah. I'm just kind of looking through his music again, and I just remember, I'm sure we both discovered him on our own.
No, this is one I will admit you told me. I will admit it. You showed me.
Because I remember, it was the song A Different Day that was the one that popped up on my Discover, and I just started binging to him after that, and then I became obsessed with him. And so, honestly, anyone who's listening, if you have listened to what we've told you to, start listening to your Discover playlist because it will give you good music.
It will explode, and you'll have, I think we've mentioned this before, that once you get that Discover to start kicking out good playlists, you've got a good several months of playlists that are absolutely amazing before it gets too diluted and you run out of things to listen to that are great, or it thinks that because I have rap in my workout playlist that I want to listen to rap country. Fuck off, Spotify. Get your shit together.
Yeah, I've gotten that a few times too.
Yeah.
Me no likey.
Yeah, but so I remember because when I first started listening to Cody Johnson, you had told me to listen to him, and that was around the time that I did just kind of first get Spotify. I don't remember when that was, what actual time frame it was, year-wise. But I remember I didn't have that much saved on Spotify, if anything, and so this was one of those first guys where I was just like, never heard of this guy before, and he went from being a guy I had never heard of before to being like, this dude's my favorite artist right now. Like, it just jumped up that much, and so for me as a person to up until that point had only really listened to mainstream artists because that's all I could get in the Midwest, it was just like, just like an absolute game changer for me when it came to my country music fandom. Was just like, this dude's amazing. How did I not know about him? Fuck the radio up here for not letting me know about this guy.
Yeah.
Same with Cody Jinks.
Yeah. I just write down a timestamp thing because my audio weirded out for a second. So anyway,
no, you were frozen over here, but so I was just like, I'm just going to keep talking because I don't know what's happening.
It's doing it again.
Yeah,
God damn
I saw it.
Sorry, people, if this is getting weird. But
shit's getting weird, man.
Shit's getting weird, yeah. So we should probably start wrapping this up before
we can start wrapping it
our
up.
computers explode.
Yeah.
But one last thing I wanted to say about Cody Johnson was an honorable mention for favorite songs
because he's short.
Was featured on "Good Man Go Wrong" by Jesse Robb Jr. Which is an amazing song.
That is an amazing song, and I don't really know that much about Jesse Robb Jr. either. I just know that song is absolutely amazing, and I want to listen more now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna add that one to the playlist also. It's just a little honorable mention since it's not on his discography. He was featured on it, but it's amazing. So I wanted to say that one.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, country, not country sellout, Kevin.
He's 110,000% country. He's Texas country to a T, and I think we both are basically in agreement that right now Texas country is the best country out there that's being made. I mean, there's people who are making non-Texas country music, which is awesome, but the Texas country scene right now is the best, and he is one of the best at it. So yeah, absolutely 100%.
Yep, country. Yes. So moving on to the albums coming out this week.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say is I forgot. Like I've said multiple times on this show, is sometimes I miss them because I'm not good at doing this because I suck at life. Last week, an artist named Chris Shiflett, his CD West Coast Town came out, and I listened to it. It's really good. He's actually the guitarist for the Foo Fighters.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and he came out with a solo country album, and it's real good.
Nice.
Yeah, so I wanted to mention that one because if I had missed one that I didn't care about, I wouldn't have cared. Like a few weeks ago, I missed the Lax. Don't care.
Why'd you even say their name?
Sorry. If you say it 3 times, they'll show up and rap in your face. But yes, this week, April 21st, it's a big week full. There were some I didn't want to. I didn't even want to cut them out because there were so many. But first up, Charlie Worsham. I don't honestly know how to pronounce his last name.
I think it's just Worsham.
Worsham.
Yeah.
His CD Beginning of Things comes out. There's a handful of songs that I really like by him. I don't listen to him too much, but I'm assuming it'll be a good album because he was never like a pop artist or anything. So
until now.
Yeah. An artist named Angelina Presley, her CD Wrangled comes out this week.
I want to say she's one of the chicks in Pistol Annie's, unless that's totally wrong.
Maybe, I don't know. I didn't really look into her too much, but I did listen to the 3 songs that are on there that are coming up on this CD. Very old school country. I really like them. She has one song called Mama I Tried, and it has like that Mama Tried guitar riff in it, like the wow 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 wow, like that thing in it. And it's
nice.
It's a pretty good song. It's old school country. I really like it. The song Wrangled, the title track, is good.
Solid.
Daryl Dodd CD, Long Hard Ride, is coming out. It's his first album since 2011, so kind of excited for that.
Yeah.
I believe he's a Texas artist.
I feel like he's got to be. The album that I usually would listen to Daryl Dodd stuff is off of his live album with Billy Bob, so I feel like he's got to be a Texas artist if he's got a live Billy Bob's album.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that one's coming out. It's going to be good. Josh Thompson, Change the Lost Record, comes out. He's got some good ones. He hasn't had one.
He's got some really good songs, but I also feel like he was one that had the ability to sell out super hard, so fingers crossed on that one.
If I remember right, his last song he released was not very good, but I could be wrong. But he's had some real good ones, so that's one I guess worth checking out if you're a Josh Thompson fan. Another one, Matt Mason, who sings the song "Liquor,"
which
he has one
is amazing.
Yes, it's already on the playlist if you haven't heard it. He has a CD called The Writers Collection Volume 1, and actually Liquor is one of them on it, so it might be like a compilation of songs he's written.
I do like a lot of the stuff off of his other albums, just random note.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then the final 2, I'm sure the first one will be your pick of the week. Jason Eady's self-titled album, Jason Eady, comes out.
Yeah!
The songs that I've listened to from it already are amazing.
Yeah.
Real good.
So Jason Eady is one of the guys that I have not talked about nearly enough as far as like random artists that we bring out throughout the pod. But this is the thing I will throw out there. Of the 2 because he's only got 2 albums on Spotify right now, which sucks because he actually has like 4 or 5. I bought the other ones on iTunes so I could listen to them. But Jason Eady is absolutely amazing. He's like real, legit country music. Listen to the album Daylight in the Dark, because that is just a tremendous album start to finish. Listen to that.
Despite the cover of Whiskey and You, because I don't need to hear that song anymore.
Yeah, but like I heard that song as the first Whiskey and You song that I heard. So like for me,
Tim McGraw's was the first one I heard.
Yeah, so like for me, Whiskey and You is a Jason Eady song. I mean, I realize that Stapleton wrote it, so it's his song, but still, listen to that album. It's amazing.
I just have 4 versions of it saved, and I'm tired of that song.
Oh, I mean, I usually skip that song, so like that's fair. But yeah, no. So listen to Daylight in the Dark, and then his new album that's coming out. The songs that have already been on Spotify are awesome. Why I Left Atlanta and Barabbas are the best 2 that have come out off the new album. But yeah, I have been excited for this one for a while. You knew I was going to freak out, and I did, and I was waiting for you to say it, because I was like, God damn it. But yeah.
Yeah, that one might actually... I'm tied between pick of the week with that one and this next one, just because I'm a homer for the next one. Brad Paisley's Love and War comes out this week. Obviously I'm falling a little out of love with Paisley just because some of his songs haven't been good, but I got to give it to him still. Because just today or yesterday, he released a musical cover of a Johnny Cash poem called Gold All Over the Ground, and it's really good. It like opens and ends with Johnny Cash talking on stage about it. It's actually a really, really good song. But it's confusing because that is real good, but the other ones he's released haven't been very good. Like, he released this one kind of grew on me. He released a song called Last Time for Everything, and the music video is like, it's like 80s retro. It just has like all these references from like 80s stuff in it, and it's pretty funny. But it's a little laundry listy, kind of like Heaven South, so it's not the greatest lyrics, but it is kind of, it did grow on me because it's musically kind of good. Like, there's a line at the end where, because obviously it's like there's a last time for everything, like last first kiss, last time for everything, kind of that kind of thing. But then at the end of the song, he goes, like, he'll name something and go last time for everything, and he goes, little Jimmy Dickens taking the Opry stage, and I was like, oh, that hurts.
Yeah.
And then Prince singing Purple Rain, and like, so it's like, it grew on me. At first I was like, it was not great, but it did grow on me. And then finally he released a song called, get ready for this, it's all one word, it's called Selfie #, the internet is forever.
And I hope that's a funny song.
Well, yeah, and it's actually not as terrible as the title implies. It's not a good song, but I actually did laugh out loud a few times listening to it, because it's like a song about, like, you took a selfie at a funeral with an open casket, you should feel ashamed. And, like, it's just, like, really, it's just, like, pretty much saying, like, put your phone down, stop being an idiot on the internet. Like, you did a keg stand, your parents follow your Instagram, you should be ashamed. And then my favorite line, though, is, this is not verbatim because I don't know the lyrics yet, but it's like, if you just started talking to a girl, don't send her a picture of your little Brett Favre. So that made me laugh, and so
that's respectable. That's funny.
Yeah, so it's nice because obviously he sometimes releases the songs where he's like trying to be tongue in cheek funny, but this is one where obviously he's not taking it seriously at all. It's just a joke song, like stop being an idiot on the internet type thing. And so it's actually, I did laugh out loud a few times listening to that song. So it's not as bad as that title makes it seem.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say about the Paisley album coming out is what I've said before, that I've all but given up on him with his latest string of shit that is either mediocre or just straight up bad. So I'm gonna wait for you to listen to the whole thing and tell me what I should listen to. Because I just can't do it anymore. He has too much music that's so good, and he is too talented that it just breaks my heart when he makes shitty music. It's actually
like when we eventually do get around to a Paisley episode, because we're going to do one, is I'll be able to tell people which songs from Moonshine in the Trunk, Love and War, and Wheelhouse to actually listen to, because those are the CDs where he just kind of turned to mediocrity. But he does have some real good songs, like genuinely good songs on each of those CDs.
Yeah.
So when we get around to it, I can do that because I know every single one of his songs by heart, except some of them from Wheelhouse and Moonshine, which I don't listen to often. But every CD from This Is Country Music before, I know literally every lyric to every song. So I will be an expert of helping people find which ones to listen to from him when we get around to that.
Yeah. Until then, I'm just gonna keep listening to Who Needs Pictures and Part 2 on repeat because that shit's gold.
Yeah. Part 2, Mud on the Tires, all great CDs.
Yeah.
Fifth Gear.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, what we're listening to, what we're reading, what we're watching, what we're creeping on.
All right, I'm going to ignore the last one. I have an interesting one for this week. I've also been noticing that as we do this podcast, I keep listening to not country a lot, just randomly. Because I listen to the artists that we talk about a lot, and then when I'm not listening to them, I just kind of go all over the place. But there's this one artist that Jay knows and likes a lot, and he's seen live. His name's Frank Turner. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's got a pretty decent amount of traction already. His top songs on Spotify. His top songs on Spotify have over millions. But Frank Turner, he's an English dude, and he is kind of like I guess the best way to describe it is it's kind of like folky, acoustic, but also like fast paced, sometimes almost punk-ish, but not punk the way you'd think about punk, but like kind of folky, fast up-tempo, Mumford & Sons kind of stuff for a lot of it. But the dude's really, really good, and so I was jamming out to him because he's going to open for Jason Isbell on like 4 tour dates this upcoming year. And so I just sent a screenshot to Jay. I'm like, a road trip? And he's like, well, probably. Probably not actually going to go because the closest one's in Minnesota. But what I would say is listen to the songs by Frank Turner. His top song's called Recovery. It's a great song. Listen to that. The song If I Ever Stray is a really great song. And then he's got a song that's, I want to say it's called like Fair Sailing Weather or something like that. Those are I put those on repeat a bunch and they're really good. So I would say people check out Frank Turner if you haven't. Dude's good. Jay told me that he was a really great live performer too, so solid.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah, pretty much all I've been listening to was I actually had him on repeat today. I listened to Sam Outlaw's new CD Tenderheart.
Yeah,
real good. The title song Tenderheart's really good, and then the other one I honestly can't pronounce it. It's that flower, I think. I can't remember. I don't know how to pronounce it. Bougainville?
I think it's Bougainville.
Yeah, I really like that song.
Yeah, no, I like that song a lot.
And then the other CD I was listening to was Aaron Vance's My Own Way, which came out on March 22nd, and I hate myself for not knowing that when we did that podcast, whatever week that was, because that's a CD definitely worth checking out because that dude...
Damn it, Stephen.
That dude can belt it out. I want to do an episode on him soon because he's like a son of a preacher from Mississippi. He's real good. Yeah, so I do want to do.
We definitely should do an Aaron Vance CD. God damn it! We should do an Aaron Vance episode for sure.
For him.
2, because he's an African American guy, and it's awesome whenever African Americans do country music. I think because
like Beyonce.
Oh my god! Because it's not a genre that should have defined limits on who can do it. Like that's kind of a thing we've been talking about randomly throughout our podcast. So I think it's awesome. The dude is extremely talented. I only got a couple songs into the album today because you told me that it came out, and I was like, oh shit, I should listen. So I haven't listened to all of it, but what I've heard so far is good.
My favorite song from it is probably Where Did Music Row Go Blues. It's just pretty much just like what the hell happened type thing. And then Diamond Kinda Loved is also really good that I like. But yeah, so and Forever Young. All right. Anyway.
Forever Young.
But
I wanna be.
Yep, it's actually that. It's a bluegrass version of that.
Is it really?
Not really. No.
Oh.
No, it's not.
I was going to say, that could honestly be kind of cool.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. But, so that's what I'm listening to. That's all I got, really.
Yeah, no, that's all I got. Listen to Cody Johnson. He's great.
Next week we'll discuss our probably very blurry recollection of Cody Johnson. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
So for now, plugs.
Plug
You
it
can
up.
catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and SoundCloud at The Hodgecast. You can email us at thehodgecast@gmail.com if you want. You could check out all the songs that we try and get you to listen to on our Spotify playlist, The Hodge Podcast Picks. You can buy a shirt, or if you want to support me and my other shirts, tpublic.com/user/Clifftron.
I did buy a shirt, finally.
Yeah, I saw you got the tank.
Yeah. You can buy that's a thing to actually note. You can get
Oh, yeah.
that on not just t-shirts. I did not know that until he told me.
Yeah, you can get it on hoodies, you can get it on shirts, you can get it on baseball shirts, you can get it on tanks, you can get it on a notebook. If you
Get
want
it on
one
a coffee mug, because we know
Coffee
that you
mugs.
are all huge fans and want to have Hodge Podcast things at your desk at work.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, support us. I know I've had a couple listeners who aren't friends actually message me and say stuff about the podcast, which is really cool. I'm glad that we're kind of getting our name out, or obviously not, I don't care about the publicity, but I like that we're expanding to people who want to listen, and that some listeners are sticking.
Yeah, and honestly, like, it's not for a random person reaching out, but basically this whole podcast became, not became worth it, but is worth it when things happen, like when Kenny messaged us saying, "Thank you for showing me Cody Jinks." Like, shit like that is what this is all about.
Yeah.
Listen to good music. It's out there.
Yeah.
Don't judge country music because of shitheads like Sam Hunt. There is good shit out there.
Yeah, with the amount of times I've had when I say I listen to country music, everyone's like, "Oh, like Luke Bryan." I go, "No, not like Luke Bryan." And then I try and tell them about. Even though half the time I don't want to show them the music we listen to because it's a little too country for some people. Because some people actually do like the pop country, and they're like, "Oh, that's my favorite country." And then when I bring out like the twangy honky tonk country, like, "I don't really like that kind." I'm like, well, then you don't like country music.
Yeah.
And then, anyway, yeah, you can find me Facebook and Twitter at Steve Hodge Music, and Kevin's on Twitter at Charchford.
Yeah.
Yeah, next week we'll be covering Sam Hunt, so stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. So until next week, I am Steve Hodge, joined as always by Kevin Hodge, saying goodbye, good night, and good Charlotte.
I love you.